What's up, Savages? It is Monday, June 10th, 2019. Hope you guys are doing awesome. I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit exhausted. I'm probably not going to have a whole lot of energy for this live stream, but I'm going to give it my best shot here. Thanks so much to everyone liking, subscribing, and all that cool stuff. You guys are awesome. You know how much I appreciate it. We are back for another random coin show, but this time I kind of handpicked what we're going to talk about tonight, and I'm probably going to spend, the way I kind of think I should do this is probably spend maybe a week on a project, because most of the projects that I look at, I mean, there's a lot to them, right? And I can spend a week on them if I just do 30 minutes. I mean, obviously, if it was an hour, I couldn't do an hour on projects every week or every night. But yeah, so that's kind of like the goal. I think I kind of like that a little bit better. Last week was all Raven coin the whole week, and which it was interesting to me. I hope everybody else enjoyed it, because the whole use case and asset use case and the whole purpose of the whole project. I went over all that kind of stuff. So I think that it kind of helps to get a little bit more down into the weeds with the projects. At least that's what kind of keeps me going and interested in things. So I think that's kind of the way I'm going to do it for a little while. We'll see how it turns out. I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, I handpicked this one. I have like a list of 10 projects that I'm currently interested in. I find it almost impossible to stay on top of all those different projects. I mean, obviously there are way more than 10 out of the 8,000 projects that are out there. There's way more than 10 that are intriguing or interesting to me. But whenever you're like trying to focus on one content for those projects, it's tough. It's really tough. We kind of experienced that whenever I started looking at all these random things. Whenever it was completely random, it was tough, man, because I was sitting here, for an hour, at least an hour, looking over a random project every day, and or every night, and it turned out to not be that much fun after a while. I mean, unless we landed on a good one, then it was fun, of course. But so in order for me to keep doing this, I am going to have a little bit of fun. So that's kind of where I'm headed with this. But long story short, 10 projects is kind of basically my limit. Technically, it's really 5 that are the ones that I'll focus on the most. Now, in the live streams, I'll probably go ahead and focus on the 10, right? And right now, that is, yeah. So I've got some notes here, and what I was saying was I don't think it's wise to be interested in too many projects for me, because I'd never sleep, right? There's many projects that I'm interested in, but the main focus is on the top 10. And right now it looks like this. It's AION, Swap, Zellcash, Conceal, CCX, Raven, Veil, which I haven't done much content on Veil, but I'm looking at it now. Loki, which is an old school project that I was interested in a long time ago. Nimic, which is kind of new to me, NIM, and then EtherGem, eGem, and Bitcash. Those are basically my top 10 right now. And don't get mad if I didn't mention your project. It's not that I'm not interested in it at all. I just have to kind of have this top 10 list so I can kind of focus, right? So for now, I'm going to focus on that content, on most of my content on those projects until I'm convinced to look elsewhere, either by my own investigations or maybe by community persuasion, right? So, I get, whenever I tweet about stuff, everybody always posts like, no, you got to check out this project, or you got to check out this project. And I get it, and I will kind of take a glance at it. But if I'm not like immediately interested in it, I don't know. And if you come at me with the next global currency, that's not going to be good enough, because that's been done 1,000 times. So, but before we get after it, let's take a quick look at the market. Let's see here. this this coin 360 has been wigging out because for some reason BTC keeps going away. Like it'll go off the screen and ETH will be over here on the left, right? I don't know why it's doing that, but I was actually going to try to trick you guys, to be honest. I was going to say, because you can hide now, I guess that they just put this menu up here. So what I was going to do was I was going to hide Bitcoin like that and say, hey, so I guess that Bitcoin went to 0 and now Ethereum is, you know, number 1, right? And you can kind of make it look like that with this screen. But anyway, just kind of goofing around there. But all right, let me see if I can bring that back up. See, I did do this and I thought that maybe that's why it kept going away, but the setting wasn't still in there. But we'll see what happens. We're almost at 8,000. That is awesome. I would like to see that again soon, sooner rather than later. All right, so the overall market cap looks like it's at 255 billion. We've got a 65 billion volume, which is pretty low, I think, compared to recently. And then our BTC dominance is at 55.6. I don't know, let's do a little refresh here. Yeah, it's about the same, okay. So that is basically where we are sitting. I think that, yeah, Cardano got knocked out of the top 10 by Stellar again, got flipped by Stellar. Let's see what some big gainers are. Aurora, don't know much about it. Phantom, Zcoin's been killing it. They've been doing really well. This Chainlink has been doing really well. There's no doubt about that. We've covered Metaverse a couple of times. Mineable coin, they're doing pretty well as well. I think their all-time high was in the $3 range or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So those are some pretty good mineable projects that are out there. All right, so let's look at the top 10. So let's go through the top 10 real quick. AION up 7.5%, sitting around 19.6 cents. Swap up just a tad. They've been hanging around that 5 cent mark for a really long time. Zelle up pretty good today, 10 cents. They were up to 22 cents pretty recently, so that's a good sign to see them moving up again. CCX always down around the 12 cent mark, it looks like. Actually, I think they were at 15 or 14 sort of recently, I don't know. Let's see here. Actually, yeah, they've been hanging around 12. They did pop up here a little bit. Yeah, 12 cents. Bargain right there. Raven up 5%. They've been hanging around 6. Everything's kind of moving sideways a lot recently, except for Litecoin. Litecoin's been doing really well, and Veil. Veil's been doing pretty well as well. Up 17% there. Loki hanging around 15 cents. They haven't moved in a while. NIM is at 0.0015. So that is 8% today, or 24 hours. EGEM up 14%. That's pretty strong. And then Bitcash up a little bit, 3%. Not too shabby. Let's take a look at what to mine. And tonight, since we'll be looking at AION for the most part, we'll kind of focus on NVIDIA rig as far as the testing and stuff, or the mining goes for right now, because it's Equihash and it does a little bit better on NVIDIA rigs. So it looks like they're down here on the second page anyway, or the second little block. Still not too bad. I mean, 213 for a 6 GPU rig, 10 series, 2 1070, 2 1070 Ti's, and 2 1080s. The rig looks like this right here. Just so you get your hardware fix for a minute. All right, so that's the hardware that we're going to be using. This is the rig, the way it's set up. And as far as AMD goes, This is what it looks like right now. Ethereum Classic, and Ethereum's always at the top there. Conceal's up there a little bit. I like that. Alright, so let's look at what I am currently mining. I am currently mining AION on the NVIDIA rigs, or rig. This rig is still off due to power. I just have not had a chance to get all my power squared away. And then on the co-owned rigs, I've got this rig here that has, I need to go power it off. This rig is that weird rig. It's got those Gigabyte RX 580s, the RS, ARS, whatever they are. And I'm using a ASRock H110 Pro BTC Plus motherboard, but whenever I fire this rig up, I've talked about this problem before, and I've looked into it like way back when. I haven't looked into it recently. But this is the symptom. The symptom is that you power the rig on, and on top of those GPUs, there's a fan stop light, right? So it's a light that comes on if the fan stopped. I guess that's what it's for. Well, you power it on, and you can hear the fans on some of the GPUs spinning at a really high volume, or a high RPM, right? And whichever ones are spinning the fastest and the hardest, that fan stop light will come on. And then that GPU will not be registered by the system, by mining software, right? So in this case, simple mining. So you see right here, it's got two of them off. So if I go in there right now and look at it, there's going to be two GPUs that have fan stop lights on them. So what I have to do is I have to turn it off, you know, hard power cycle the power back on, and then wait. And normally whenever I hear, if I don't hear one of those GPUs like spinning at a high RPM, the fans, then it's going to be good, and all 8 are going to be, you know, recognized and everything is great. But if I hear one of them, you know, or at least one of them spin fast, that high RPM, it's not going to, that fan stop light's going to be on, and it's just going to not be registered by simple mining. So if anybody's got any experience with that, I don't know how to fix it. I have been through, you know, like I said, I did some research initially, but once I discovered what was happening, the symptom and the recognition and all that, I just go through the motions of powering it off, powering it back on. I don't know. Yeah, so if you got any more information on that, let me know. That would be a big help. All right, so tonight we are going to take a look at AION. Let me, I'm not even interacting with the chat. Let me get over there and look and see who all's in there. What is up, everybody? Yeah, go Raptors, man. That's kind of cool, right? Got some folks in here. What's up, Yashnik, Red Panda, Shuby? I think that's you, maybe, yeah. Wes from Not Your Normal Miner. Thanks for showing up, guys. That's awesome. All right, so let's talk about AION a little bit here. I'm going to turn my cams off. Let me get on their website here. Oh, and if you guys don't know about this site, this is kind of cool. This is coinfarm.online, and it is basically an interface into BitMEX. It's like a dashboard. So what you can do, what I use it for, obviously, I mean, I'm not trading or anything like that, but you can kind of get a feel for what's going on in the market by these numbers right here. Because if you know, longs means like, you know, people are betting on the increase in BTC value, and short, I think that, well, it's probably not just BTC, but all crypto, right? And then the shorts are 46%. So you can kind of get a feel for what people are thinking out there. Now, it's kind of weird though, because it doesn't always match. Like up here, like the overall analysis is sell, 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 but one has a buy, that's Bitflyer. And so, you know, you kind of have to take this with a grain of salt. You know, obviously not financial advice or anything like that, but it is kind of a handy little thing to look at if you're wondering what's going on. So whenever the market was going down, I'll give you an example. Whenever it was going down recently, there were but there were more shorts than there were longs. So whenever this flips, you know, you're probably going to see the market go down, right? And whenever it's like this, it's probably going to go up, which is kind of what you're seeing. So kind of cool. I mean, it's just another tool to use, but anyway. So let's head over to AION.network. They've done a massive amount of work on their website for sure. But we'll talk about the mining part of it in a few minutes. So what exactly is AION? It's a globally distributed smart contract platform focused on scalability, interoperability, security, efficiency, and usability, end user usability. Most of the team's efforts go towards helping the developers build a new network, new internet, or Web 3.0 that puts the end user experience and privacy first. So what is a smart contract? Because that's what it's based on, or what one of the primary focuses is. It's a simple way to think about it is as computer code that is written to a network to digitally facilitate a transaction of some sort without a third party required to verify it. You can use a smart contract to exchange money, property, or anything else of value in a transparent, verifiable way without middlemen. And a really great example is from blockgeeks.com, and I like this example, so I'll just read it as it's written on their website. It says, suppose you rent an apartment from me. You can do this through the blockchain by paying in cryptocurrency. You get a receipt which is held in our virtual contract. I give you the digital entry key, which comes to you by a specified date. If the key doesn't come on time, the blockchain releases a refund. If I send the key before the rental date, the function holds it, releasing both the fee and the key to you and me respectively when the date arrives. The system works on the if-then premise, and if witnessed by hundreds of people, and is witnessed by hundreds of people, so you can expect a faultless delivery. If I give you the key, I'm sure to be paid. If you send a certain amount of bitcoins, you receive the key. The document is automatically canceled after the time, for example, the lease expires, and the code cannot be interfered with by either of us without the other knowing, since all the participants are simultaneously alerted. A feature of the blockchain and distributed ledger and all that stuff. So you can use smart contracts for all sorts of situations that range from financial derivatives to insurance premiums, breach contracts, property law, credit enforcement, financial services, legal processes, and crowdfunding agreements. So that's just a little bit about smart contracts and what AION is trying to build. But what they decided to do was they decided to create an AION virtual machine, or AVM, that is a Turing-complete code execution engine that's built on Java, on the Java virtual machine, that enables developers to build blockchain applications, smart contracts, distributed apps, I believe, or part of that, in Java. And what that did is it instantly gave tens of thousands of developers that are already familiar with Java the ability to build on top of the AION network in a language that they're already familiar with. So that's kind of cool if you think about it. I did video on this a long time ago. It's like an hour-long how to mine video, but it covered a lot. It was more than just one platform. I don't remember everything, but it wasn't HiveOS, and that was the key. It was because back then I was only doing simple mining. It was simple mining using AMD, simple mining using NVIDIA, Windows 10 using AMD, and Windows 10 using NVIDIA. I think that's what it was. So, yeah. Anyway, that is a little bit about AION and what it does and all that stuff. Let's look at actually mining it. So I am already mining it on my my NVIDIA rig over here on HiveOS. But let's just go through the normal process that we go through whenever we are trying to mine something, right? So I'm going to go through the documentation real quick. We will just go ahead and start filling this out like we normally do. The algorithm is Equihash 2109. And then for the pool and the port, I don't know. What do you think, Yashnik? What should we use? I think that I want to say that did this earlier. I looked, and I think you guys, AIONpool.tech had 53%, something like that. 55%. Oh wow. Okay, so 304 miners are on AIONpool.tech, so we'll use that one. All right, so this is their dashboard, or their first, dashboard. So let's go to connect. And then I'm going to be using a 6 GPU rig, so I will use port 3333, and I'll use the global region stratum URL, cluster AIONpool.tech, cluster.AIONpool.tech, and port 3333. So it'll look like that. So let's go and grab, I know we kind of already went through this a little bit, but let's go ahead and grab our just extra data that we document whenever we are looking at a coin to mine. So go over here and look at, where was it? Go to AION here. No, they're under 100, so that's good as far as the rank goes. So the coin market cap, or the market cap, is 62 million. Volume, I don't know why I have that twice. I don't know. I need to look at my sheet here. Volume is 3.5 million. Which I don't know how that compares to previous days. It sounds like a lot, but I don't know. Coin market cap rank was 99. What to mine? We can look over here. We can go to coins and then go to AION here. Just grab this info up here, and all this stuff that's grayed out here isn't really necessary to mine. You kind of have, but it's good to have, you know, info if you're investigating a project to mine. So it's just a good habit to get into. Instead of just listening to some dude on the internet talk about these projects, you should do your own research. Don't take my advice. I can never find the right one. Maybe that one. Nope, that's that one that I get that every single time. I get that one. That's not it either. It's not the right one. Let's just go to this over here. We should be able to get to it from here. Or not. Okay, so I would have to do some research to find the right one. Okay. All right. Do they not have a... that's interesting. I don't have a link to it over here either. Did they abandon the Bitcoin talk? Maybe. I don't know. I did find it before though. I know I had it for the video that I made a while back. Anyway, okay, we'll just ditch that idea. Not too important. They've been around a year and some change, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say that it was the end of 2017, I think. Their website is aion.network. I don't know if they have a mining help website. The wallet method that we'll use is the desktop wallet, which is kind of slick. It's not a bad looking wallet. This is what it looks like. So we'll use this address right here to mine to. That's the one I already have in there, but we'll create a new wallet and all that stuff. All right, and I believe that since we'll use miner. Oh man, it's been a while. Let's see, Gminer? Is that what we're supposed to use? I already have mine set up, so yeah, Gminer. Okay, so that's what we will use, and let's go ahead over here and go to wallets. This is HiveOS. Obviously, you'd already have to have an account and all that stuff for this to actually work. But I'll go through the process of adding a new wallet and all that stuff. I'd already copied the address. All right, so now we have a new wallet. Down here. So then we'll do a new flight sheet. Select the wallet that we just created, the pool. It doesn't say .tech here, but this is aionpool.tech. So we'll choose that one. And then we'll go 3+ GPU rigs, 3333. Sounds good to me. And then apply. And then because it's already in here, it should basically select a lot of the miners for us, the ones that it's recommending. And then if you do choose one of the ones that's listed in here, then it'll pre-fill a lot of that information in there. So we're going to choose Gminer. And then whenever we click on Setup Miner Config, you're going to see a lot of the information pre-filled. So it's actually kind of cool. So you've got the algorithm already selected, you've got the wallet and worker template. Now some pools don't accept this way, so you kind of have to keep this in mind. Like you're letting HiveOS decide what goes in all these blocks. So if you're having trouble, make sure you kind of double check everything, because I've seen problems where you had to take this variable out, for example, on some pools for it to work. So just keep that in mind. But I believe that all this looks good. You have to add the personalization string, AION 0 proof of work, which they already did that for you. And then apply. We'll give it a name of AION_YouTube. And then create the flight sheet. And then we are going to head over to workers. We're going to select the rig. NVIDIA rig that we've been talking about. Select the rocket. Some of that might have been hidden by my cameras there, sorry about that. Select the rocket, then we're going to select AION, and then the one that we just created was AION YouTube, and then apply. And now that should be applying to the rig. Yeah, right here, rig config changed. It is on AION YouTube, AION pool, and it's still going at 1.2K. And then if you want to know what my overclocks are, there they are right there. So you could pause it right here, and it's got all the GPUs listed that we're currently using, and then all of the overclock settings. So let's just go into the rig and see. We'll get into remote access. I know it's 10 o'clock and we need to switch over to Brandon Coin. And we will in just a minute. I just want to get into the rig and show the accepted shares. So let's do that real quick. All right, there we go. You can see up here where it rebooted. And accepted shares and all that stuff. Getting 2.16 souls per watt. I hear that's pretty good. All right. That is going to wrap it up for me. Tomorrow I will probably do maybe talk about a specific thing about the AION project, maybe a little bit. We'll probably go ahead